Thank you. So I want to give you a very, very quick tour of how somebody who is not a developer, me, uses some code to make their lives a little easier. And the context of this is I am surrounded by HTML and XML. I write in DITA, which is a form of XML. We publish to HTML docs, and we use a ton of web apps for everything from analytics to tracking projects to all kinds of other stuff. And HTML and XML are great, but sometimes you want to think outside the angle brackets, and you want to take that information and manipulate it in a way that maybe the original publisher or creator or app designer didn't intend. So really quickly, the tools that I decided to use to do this were Ruby and NOKOGIRI. So I'm going to explain very quickly what those are. Ruby's a scripting language. You've probably heard of Ruby on Rails, which is used to build websites. You can find more information there. And lots of the people who heard my practice talk all wanted to know why Ruby, and that is another lightning talk in and of itself. I will just say that I'm not preaching about a particular language being the best here. You can probably do this in almost any language, although I wouldn't recommend Fortran. So what's NOKOGIRI? It's a library or a gem, as Rubyists like to call them, that parses HTML and XML. And what that means is if you look at that bottom string there, NOKOGIRI can basically understand a question like, find the paragraph tag that has a class of important and give me the text that's inside that. And that's not something that an out-of-the-box programming language generally does very well because they just see a string of text. So adding the parser gives you a lot of power. So my first example was I had a table on a wiki with 400 help IDs listed on it. And we needed to import this into another tracking system. And nobody wanted to do this by hand. So I wrote a very simple script using Ruby and NOKOGIRI to scrape this. So on the left there, that little snippet of code basically says, find me all of the tables. That / tables is, or / table says, find everything in a table tag. The stuff on the right basically goes through the rows of the table, and the child elements of a row are table cells. So it goes through, it grabs every table cell, does some stuff to get rid of junk, and then returns that as an array. And then I was able to print that all out into a comma-separated value file, and then we could import that into our next tool. Second example, which got a little bit more complicated, we use an application called Acrolinks to score our content for a variety of measures of doc quality. And it gives us a pretty report which has a table of all of your topics and a score, and then if you click on the link for the topic, you go to the report on the right that has a whole bunch of other metrics. And I wanted some of those metrics that I've circled in green. And in particular, I wanted to take them and I wanted to statistically analyze how they correlated with some other measures of user behavior from our analytics. Spoiler, they don't. But I didn't know that until I tried. So, doing this by hand would require clicking through every one of these and copying out these values, and I didn't want to do that. And once again, NOKOGIRI came to the rescue. This is only a little snippet of showing how to grab one of the scores, because the page that I showed you was not designed to be processed semantically in any way. It was styled up with lots of CSS, But basically what I said is, okay, give me the table of class table summary, the table row with the ID scorecard row, and then the table cell. Give me the second one of those table cells, and then give me the text inside it. And that got me what I needed.
That's all.
And here's some other neat stuff you can do. Thanks.